Hello, justtwogood here. I just want to give you an update. The Throwback Thursdays and Flashback Fridays, as much as I love those titles, I'm just going to change these to the weekly retro review because then I could have it outside those days. As you can see, today's Sunday, but I want to review one old set a week. Based on some of your votes, you guys voted to have this set reviewed, the Scary Laboratory from LEGO Studios, overwhelmingly so. So let's take a look at this set, but I also have to say, I filmed an opening of the set back around Halloween, and I just never got around to actually building this and reviewing it. So the intro will be a little bit out of place. Just warning you. Hello, justtwogood here. Since there was LEGO news, I couldn't do Throwback Thursday technically, so let's do Throwback Thursday on Friday and call it Flashback Friday with this lovely Halloween-timed Scary Laboratory LEGO Studio set. This is a set I wanted so much when I was young. I would always see it in catalogs. I snagged a good deal on this on eBay last year, and I'm finally ready to open it. You can see 7 minifigures are included here with a total of 492 pieces. And when this was released back in 2002, LEGO Studios had this sub-theme of monsters. And this cost $50. I remember back then, I think I had the vampire one first, and then I got the mummy one. Or maybe my brother got the mummy one, but the vampire one was definitely mine. Regardless, let's open this bad boy up, which looks like it's still sealed, thankfully. Barely still sealed. Maybe I'll just have to dump it out like a regular LEGO set. I thought it was one of those pull-out trays or whatever. I forgot about the CD. I believe the CD has like some spooky noises. We'll try to run it on my computer. And then look at that bad boy. We got a catalog as well. And a whole bunch of pieces. Even some stickered pieces. Or sorry, just a sticker sheet. Here's the set all built up. Now let's take a look at those minifigures. So here is the monster of the set. This is the first time we got the Frankenstein's monster-esque monster from LEGO minifigure of any kind, really. And then eventually we get more in, I think it was series 4 of LEGO minifigure CMF, and then Monster Fighters, and then in some other sets as well. This design has a piece only used with this figure ever of this older top headpiece for the monster. It was later changed for Monster Fighters and collectible minifigures. I love the studs at the side here and just how substantial the size is. It's comically large, and it's just the whole head attachment to just a regular minifigure head, which, seeing that older printing, is a little bit creepy there on the Frankenstein's monster-esque monster. At the back, I do love how there's some back head printing here, which is such a rarity for minifigures back then. Again, some of that is covered with that just size of that piece, so it wasn't even necessary. There's a funny zip at the top. And like I said, since these are actual studs, these have a little bit of a receiving end. So if you want to put a pull connection, maybe not these, but say like this one right here. Yeah, that will stick at the side of the monster. That's hilarious. I also love this print that they use for the jacket, which doesn't really have a look that's too specific to the monster and can be used outside that setting, especially back then when we didn't have too many casual jacket prints and everything. So yes, this is a really nice minifigure exclusive to this set. The crazy scientist gives some, resemblance to Frank Grimes from The Simpsons. This design here is technically not exclusive, but I mean, I would say it's exclusive because they released the same exact minifigure in one of the vintage minifigure collections. I think actually the first vintage minifigure collection. However, the prints were a little bit updated from this design because it is like almost poorly printed. I mean, back then they didn't have like the best minifigure printing settings. And you can see how it's just kind of like chalky at some sections, especially on the torso, the teeth, and some of that leg right there. But again, leg printing and hip printing, which is so rare back then. I love that. Torso printing, that's exclusive. And I love how this has an alternate face where he just has that really kind of creepy look right there. Like he's tee-upped into like a half werewolf or something. It's pretty darn cool. I mean, I said werewolf, but I think it's more of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation, which is a character that we got in collectible minifigures as well, but a totally different design. And this minifigure came in a few of the LEGO Studios monster sets because he was also in the Werewolf Ambush as well as the Dracula set or Vampire set, Vampire's Crypt. That was the one I had when I was young, that one and the Mummy one. And this design has a really nice torso print right there, which again appeared in those sets, face print, which appeared in those sets. And
this attachment right here, you may be like, wait, what's going on here with this 1x2 with that big pole connection? Well, since this is a LEGO Studio set, it encouraged filmmaking. So this was a way to film minifigures without getting your hand in the picture, as you can see right here. And that's just attached with a neck attachment at the back. Then also, he has an alternate face where he looks really scared. And that's the same face print found in those other two sets. And this minifigure provides a really nice torso that also appeared in the Werewolf Ambush set. Face print and hairpiece are used for Mary Jane in the classic LEGO Studio Spider-Man sets. And also, I think the one from the subsequent year, in 2003. So that's really fun to see. And it's kind of like, okay, we got to save money. So let's just use the same print, like the Spielberg one, of something that's probably modeled after an actress. You know, it looks a bit like Kirsten Dunst. Then again, there's like a little mole there, so I'm not entirely sure. And then we have our director, who looks a lot like Steven Spielberg, and Steven Spielberg even had a partnership with LEGO Studios, so I kind of find it funny that they just use that face for more minifigures outside the whole Spielberg license. I don't know if LEGO could get away with that nowadays. And you can see at the back, it says director. Ooh, this could be Michael Haneke, who knows? Okay. Not a LEGO video, whatever. Oh, and there's a classic skeleton in this set, which has the hilarious wobbly arms. And of course, you can put this ghost part over it, which we'll get more into that later on in the video. So here's a set all built up, and there's a couple different sections here. This middle section isn't connected to these two towers. The middle section just kind of rests right here with the lab table. This lab switch is a separate part as well, not connected to any of the towers. The entryway is a separate part, not connected to anything to the left here. Then we also have a makeup room, which is not connected to anything, and this dolly with a camera. So let's first take a look at those two main towers and that center lab table, and I guess the lab switch too. So again, for the main tower, this is a separate part, and this switch right here is separate, even though they're intended to be close to each other. The design of these towers right here provides some really nice hidden features and play features. Let's start at the bottom. With the right side here, you got two stickers, which are those classic sticker designs, which don't really match the modern prints of LEGO. They look a little bit too detailed. Also kind of a pain to put on just by how they're cut. This is actually a print, this 1x2 up here, which I really love that design. That looks dope. Regardless, you can open up this just by that handle there. And this play feature here is a transformation play feature. Or I guess you could even say it's a murder play feature, because what this turns into is actually kind of dark. You see at the very top, there's this skull and a glass right here. And there's even this printed dish right here, which actually appeared in some LEGO Harry Potter sets from around the time, from my understanding. And by twisting, not only does that little whirlwind of cosmic whatever spin, but also at the bottom, you just straight up kill the scientist, or you could just see him turning into a skeleton. It's however you interpret it, but that's a transformation feature I think we've even seen from like LEGO Batman later on. It's really fun to see it here, where it just uses one of those 2x2 swivel pieces. And it works very smoothly, and I like how that middle part even twists for a really cool pattern. Regardless, let's go back to the bottom. Not too much else to show with this bottom section, but let's close off the front. And following to one step above, again, nice printed dish that appeared in some sets from around the time. It's not explicitly exclusive. At the back side of these two, though, I do like how we not only have this castle window right here, as I call them, but there's a pretty nice sticker which has like a chain right there that's cool and dark. Again, a little bit annoying to put on since they are the older translucent stickers. And then at the top section where that skull in the glass appears, there's a hidden statue design back here, which that was also used in some Harry Potter sets, but I think I have it in the tan color from back in the day. Anyways, we have two flames. At the side, this is just kind of, I guess, aesthetic detail. It doesn't actually move the center part or play feature we just looked at. There's also a nice aesthetic detail of this sticker on this pillar piece right here. I like that. Again, this chain just runs all the way through to the bottom of the set. And then there's a really cool hidden brain piece right here. Just push this forward.
And look at that print.
Not an exclusive piece, but rather a piece that came in the LEGO Harry Potter Nocturne Alley set. Still really nice to get here, and I love how hidden that is, where you can just push it up. And there you go. This middle section kind of feels like a last minute addition where they have you build it at the end, then they just show it connected by 2 studs at the end between these 2 parts right here. And I don't know, it does feel kind of loose when you move it and everything, so I kind of wish that was just a little bit more thought after. Regardless, the actual design of this has a nice printed 2x2 that only appears in this set. You get 2 copies just for this design, and it does move up and down very smoothly. It goes into the play feature of the lab table, so we'll get back to this in a bit. But let's take a look at the left tower. I guess we'll start at the very top, where there's a bat throne. And basically put the skeleton right here, and by pushing at the back here, the skeleton will just fall down. It's a cute little play feature. I like the thinking there. Falling skeletons, watch out. Regardless, at the back here, there's a pointless spinning wheel once again, which doesn't go into any play feature. Some more cog designs which can't be moved. This is another sticker, and at the very top, you can see how they use some translucent neon green pieces, which is always classic to see. And here's just a view of that from the back, as well as that middle section from the back. Moving down one, well, I guess you could say floor, we have this middle section right here, which has the classic pumpkin head. That jack-o'-lantern design has appeared in Troll on the Loose, I think is like the only other LEGO set. And that's a classic 2002 Harry Potter set that we definitely need a remake of. There's a scorpion as well. And in the middle right here, we have a treasure chest, which has a skull. We gotta take it out. I am realizing that I think I swapped the skull head, so the minifigure skull should probably have the smiling head of this, and then the more haunted head might have to be, I think, in this treasure chest or in the spinning one, but whatever, it's not too big of a deal. And again, on the back side of this structure, we have the design of that castle little window, which I love seeing. And then at the bottom floor at the back, I love that. It gives me some Halloween vibes with the goofy looking bat there. And for the bottom section, we have tools for the scientist to make his monster, where you could just easily slide this out and see how that comes from one of those various tool rings that LEGO will include in a set like this. And again, just very easy to slide back in. But that's it for the towers. So let's take a look at the lab table and then the lab switch. So just putting the lab table there, you can see how this just kind of slides into place but doesn't really have a point of connection. And it looks hilarious with those chains attached to the head right there, but of course this laser at the top is channeling thunder or whatever to make the monster alive. But here's the problem. This just slides into the middle there, but this lever at the side is very effective in moving this up and down. Of course, you could also move it up and down just by pushing the front up and down. I kind of wish this was just integrated better, where this was still in the middle right here and everything lined up well, but this was also an easy to move lever. I just kind of wish it was like connected in that regard. But again, this uses a backdrop design like a movie set, so it makes sense to have different structures. It's not like a one-to-one building if it is a movie set. This design also shows at the front, like putting the skeleton in the place of the monster right here, and you could just kind of make it fall from the top by pushing it back down this way. Oh, come on, he's already falling without pushing it down, but like, so that's kind of fun. Again, not connected to this middle section, so you could even get more play out of it just by removing it from the middle section in its entirety. Regardless, let's put the monster back at the bottom there. And you can also have those chains attached onto the monster's hands. Now let's take a look at this lever at the side, which this kind of goes hand in hand with this middle section. So while that's all we have for the lab build, there are some other sections to this set's build. This is a build that I wish was more connected to maybe one of the towers, but still it's really nice, where I like the appearance of this 1x2 once again, which this time it's used facing upward. And then we also have a sticker at the side right here, and the switch is just a lot of fun to push up and down if you ask me. Anyways, at the top, you have some more translucent green, 2 variations there. And then, yeah, that's really it for the build of this switch setup. One last thing, putting the skeleton at the top. They show this a lot on the box, but you can kind of make it fall down like that. I don't know, another flying skeleton feature. But let's take a look at the other sections outside this tower setup. We have an entryway, which this gate right here is classic to see. The design of this also has some more of those stickered big brick pieces. We have a ratto at the front. And then the interior, we got some fire as well as some spears. And since this is a studio set, again, it encourages the idea that this is a film being made, which is one of the excusable reasons why I'm like, okay, this isn't as connected with its builds, but these are kind of like set backdrops. So it kind of makes sense if these are built sets that they're not all connected like a regular building. So we have a makeup room right here, which has that lovely classic ghost piece, which does glow in the dark, as well as at the back. I love seeing this. This is from like Fright Nights, right? This helmet right here from Lego Castle. It just appears in that old gray there. That's absolutely lovely to see show up. So there's some great additions in terms of just extra costumes you can make out of this. And this is actually a stickered mirror, which is a lot of fun to see. You can see I'll put my face there. We have a seat as well in white. And yes, the mirror is a bit adjustable, so you get some different angles out of it. And then we have this dolly right here, which is basically a rolling vehicle for the camera. This design has 2 wheels at the bottom. We also have this 1x2 VHS tape, which is kind of cool to see return again, used a lot in the LEGO Studio setup. We have a switch at the side right here. And then at this side, we do have 2 studs. And of course, this has a connection of a 1x1 brick at the end right there. So that's really nice to see. But I think that's it for all the builds of the set. So let's take a look at the packaging and then the final verdict. For the front of the box, I love how it has this whole backdrop display, and then you have like an actual studio design at the back there. That's just a lot of fun. And the back has some alternate displays of the set. I love seeing those alternate builds there, but I do kind of wish they had just different shots of the set because it's kind of hard to see what's going on with the set from the front. And they do show these same designs at the back of the instructions anyways. So for the instructions, I'm holding it this way because there's a really fun comic at the end here. Kind of miss these in Lego sets. First, we have some different features and everything there, but look at this. I love the artwork on here. This is so adorable. And again, not using too many words, but just kind of a little picture book. And at the back, we have a different look at those alternate builds. And there's an ad for a free Lego catalog. Ooh, not too much else to show with this little insert. Look at that classic town set at the back. And while my computer and laptop don't have a disk drive, I was able to search up the LEGO Studio sound effects from YouTube. And Triangle 717 has a great little video of the video that's on this disc. The sound effects there are hilarious, so just check out the full video for a better look at that. So overall, I really like this set. I think my problems would be that the colors are a little bit meh, where they use a lot of grays and also that sand blue, which just kind of makes for a boring color scheme. I guess it's effective to some creepy extent, but not much else in terms of the color scheme. I also wish that lab table feature, while very effective separated from the tower, was a bit more effective connected to the tower, and maybe that was integrated a little bit better. Regardless, this was a $50 set. Nowadays, it would be like $100, so I really like the scale that they brought with that price. The most comparable thing to this is probably the $50 Monster Fighters. Was it Crazy Scientists and Monster, I think, just like this set. And that set was really good, but this feels a lot more substantial. There's a lot of great minifigures and printed parts as well. This was a great trip down memory lane. Again, I just kind of wish the color scheme was a little bit more interesting, and that kind of goes a long way for me. With all things considered, I rate it a strong 7 out of 10 on the retro review meter. But let me know in the comments, what do you think of this set? Is it great? Did you have LEGO Studio sets when you were younger, or are you just getting into LEGO Studios too? Subscribe and let me know what retro theme you want to see me cover next, and I'll see you later. Peace out. Bye.